Hello and welcome, everyone. Happy President's Day. And my name is Dr. Daisy Valentin, CEO and President of Valentin Consulting. And I am thrilled to invite you here to our YouTube channel, our guest speaker series, which was launched back in May of 2024. We are so excited to have so many wonderful guest speakers, and especially one today. And the purpose of our guest speaker series is to collaborate with our leaders and industry experts around the state and around the world. But not only that, we are so excited to have Carrrie Cook here with us. And also, just so you know, that Valentin Consulting is a accounting and finance and qualitative analysis. Also, we do payroll, bookkeeping for all your small, non-traditional needs. But Carrrie is here with us. She's an amazing CFO and more, right, Carrrie? And I want you to tell us a little bit about you, what you do, what's your business. We are so happy to have you here. And thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Daisy. I really appreciate the invitation. It just warms my heart to work with other entrepreneurs in the community. So thank you. My name is Carrrie Cook, and I am the founder of something called Revive Financials. It's really a profit strategy organization that helps small business to medium-sized business navigate their profits and ensure that they are in a profitable situation. I, too, have a small bookkeeping company called Clean Simple Books. And one of the last things that I do is a women's money mindset and fiscal literacy company. So what I have found is that they all kind of go together and everyone needs the same services. So it just feels like a real good fit. Thanks for having me.
That is amazing. So when you're talking about how do you currently, help businesses manage, bookkeeping, because we both have similar kind of strategies,
Right.
but we both have been in different circles
Right.
and the different organizations. So what is some of the things, in bookkeeping, and what systems do you help with, organization to help stay organized? Because I know you've worked with more larger businesses than what I have. And I think it's really good for those businesses to see how they can expand.
Yes, I agree. However, we all use QuickBooks.
That's our number one, right?
Yes.
One of those number one.
Hard to beat QuickBooks.
Yeah.
It's just so versatile. It does anything. So it is really hard. I've worked with people on Excel spreadsheets. I've worked with people with receipts and shoeboxes. I know you have too. We all just kind of do what we can for them. And the first thing I generally do is put them on QuickBooks. Yeah.
Well, I know QuickBooks is one of the key factors here, especially like when it's on small entrepreneurs, businesses, but, there is some larger scale accounting softwares, depending on the level of that company, right? Like sometimes we can start off with QuickBooks, but as that company grows, that's where I'm assuming that financial literacy comes in, where you show them, okay, as your business is growing, does that grow with you? Does your accounting system grow with you?
In general, I just simply leave it at bookkeeping. And as their accounting systems grow and need additional help, then we move them over to an accounting company. I'm not that. I start them out, I clean them up, and then I move them on. Yeah.
Then she moves them on, like, so to someone like myself. We're just having that conversation. Not just me. She's got lots of people just like me. But what are some of the biggest financial challenges an entrepreneur has, and how does it impact their business? I think it's really important for us to talk about things like that.
Amazingly, the very first problem that I run into is money mindset. It's so limiting when it comes to acting and reacting strongly in your business that it's really important to take a look at how your money is set, what you're thinking about as far as risk is concerned, and how much risk is safe to you, or how much risk should be safe to you. As I watch people make decisions, it really does come down to how they think about the product called the tool called money. Um,
Mhm.
I find that when they're doing their books, sometimes books aren't set up correctly and they need to be revised. That's often what I end up doing.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that that's an important first step, is to have some professionals around you who can help you understand what it is you're trying to do. Oftentimes when we're in small business, we are trying really hard to extend ourselves into corners that we haven't been into before, and we need some money in order to do that. And we need to figure out what some creative ways of coming up with that money are, so that you have opportunity and can accelerate on that.
That is amazing. You touched on something about how the managing their money, right? And you also touched about how you have a money mindset, I believe.
Yes.
Course, is that
Yes.
what it is? And in what ways has this really helped different entrepreneurs with starting their business? How do you see it impacting the success of their businesses? Because we do know money's money. We know money's money, but money doesn't do anything. Money's a thing,
It's a
right?
thing, it's a
It's
tool.
a thing, and it's a tool, right? And it's something that we have to learn how to use.
Yes.
And what I find a lot, because not only do I do accounting, but I also teach it, right? What I find a lot is people think it's all about just math.
Oh, it isn't. It's about emotion. It's 90%
Thank
about emotion.
you.
Right.
Thank you. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that money. I want to give too much away, because if some people want more information, they can come, asking about it. But what is something, that you can share just a little bit that sparks people when you're talking about that money mindset?
Well, it's the whole thing is interesting. The whole
Mm-hmm.
science is interesting. We were children when our mindset was made. We were children making childhood decisions. And in adulthood, we retain a lot of that childhood decision making. It was beneficial to us under the age of 20. But now that we're adults, it's not the same thing. And it's not the same question. It's not the same answer. And we're applying these childhood beliefs to the way that we manage money. And it's time to adult. It's just plain time to adult. One of the things that I have heard is there's a lot of shame and in need of forgiveness. And again, I go back to, we were children when we were
Mm-hmm.
making these mistakes, and kids make mistakes so that we can learn. So, man, oh man, forgive yourself. There's nothing to forgive, and try and put on a new hat and create some adult decisions. Yeah, that's
I
what my job is.
absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I feel that sometimes it's just, and when us accountants here, right? When us that work in the field, we go in, we tell these individuals, it's not about that. It's about changing your way of thinking, changing the way you used to think and changing the way you think. Because a lot of times what I find, and I don't know if you've seen this, like, and I think it brings back what you were just mentioning, is they mix their personal with their business a lot,
A lot.
right? A lot. And that's where you're mentioning, it's no longer this mindset. You need to change it to the adult mindset, because you can't mix it. You can't mix the two together. And that's where a lot of, small non-traditional businesses, or even businesses like you've worked with, that they seem to not be able to get out of that hole,
Yeah.
because of that.
It's true. And it's really easy to do it and really hard to stop doing it. And it again comes down to money mindset. If there's money in the business, then it's kind of mine too. And
Mhm.
and instead of recognizing it that it's a separate entity, and so
Mhm.
it's hard to break that cycle. I have worked with patient or clients who have needed that help, and they can get to a certain point, and it's really hard, and they can see that it is beneficial to them.
Mhm.
But making the big change out of a lifetime of this decision making is really, really hard and sometimes unsuccessful.
Mhm. So, what would you consider someone to think about when they're balancing their financial planning, you know, with their day-to-day demands of running their business? Because that is a key factor too. I find that clients usually say, "Oh, I got to run my business, I got to run my business," but I'm usually kind of telling them, "Hey, you still got to manage. This still has to get done. Like the government's not going to wait for you.
Right.
So what are something that you can share that would help them balance their financial planning with their day-to-day demands of running their business?
The first thing I do with all of my clients is I set up a profit strategy system for them. And that is something that you can do and anyone who's listening can do. It's a matter of recognizing that there has to be a profit on every sale, and that profit has a range. And I would tell them the range should be up to 44%. So if you can get to 44% profit after you paid all your bills, you are in a wonderful place. So you set yourself up with that. That 44% profit is then divided into 6 piles. One of them being taxes, and that would be post payments of everything. So that would be net revenue. We pay taxes on net revenue. The rest of these accounts are set up pre-tax. So we're doing some savings accounts. The first one I call is a contingency account. I like to see $20,000 or 20% set aside in every small business for contingency. And that means that if California falls into the ocean, you can spend the money. If a tornado goes down the Mississippi, you can spend the money. It really has to be an extreme situation. Knowing that you have $20,000 in the bank, however, changes your mind and allows you to make decisions that are much more profitable for your business just because you have the funds there. You can say yes so much more frequently because you have the funds there. The next thing I do is a reinvestment account, which is 16% of your net revenue that we've already put into the price tag. All of these are part of the price tag. So 16% is the highest reinvestment in the nation. And I think it's really an important number that we put back into our own businesses. You set aside 16% and you are investing in the asset of your business. You're not getting pencils. You are getting an asset, something that adds value to your business with that 16%. I have a couple of 7.5% savings accounts, a retirement account called an SEP. If you don't know about that, you should ask someone. I can help. Daisy can help. A financial planner could certainly help. And then the remaining part of this whole equation is debt down payment. A lot of people build their initial businesses on debt, and it could be credit cards, it could be family money, it could be savings accounts, it could be a loan. And actively repaying that throughout the life of your business is really important. There's debt that you can say is a beneficial type of debt, and that's when it actually works in your favor as building an asset. But then there are detrimental debts like credit card where you're paying 20% or 26 or 29% interest on it. That's a detrimental. We want to get rid of those right away. So knowing that you have a plan, knowing that you have a structure to the way that you're building your business will let you sleep at night. It's fantastic.
That's amazing. And that's what many individuals need to hear, because sometimes they don't understand that piece.
Right.
And even in teaching this to many graduate students, and they'll be like, "But why do I need to know this?" And I'm like, you need to know this because if you become an entrepreneur, if you want to own your own business, or you're going to be a leader in an organization, doesn't matter where you fall in that leadership area, you got to understand how money works, how things are working. Everything is accounting. A lot of people mistake accounting with taxes. And I try to tell them, I said, it's not one and the same. There's 3 different types of accounting. And many times that's what one of those things are, is that they don't understand that piece. Now, how would you see a financial journey in the next couple of years? Like what have you seen, like not even in yourself and others, their financial journey? in the next few years? Like, what is the support that you can help? I mean, you've shared a lot of great information, but I know that there's something coming up very soon. How can we together, us and the community, help you reach those individuals and help them with support? Like, what is those other areas, and what's something that I know that you have coming up soon that's going to be so beneficial for these entrepreneurs?
So I'm sure you remember COVID. I was in COVID on Zoom looking at all these amazing entrepreneurs who had such a limited stage. And I kept thinking, how can I get these people supported? How can I get these people sales? How can I get them exposed to things? And I decided that I would have a fair as soon as COVID lifted. So I had my very first entrepreneurial fair in August of 2021. And it was a huge success. So
Awesome.
this year we're celebrating our fifth
Woo!
entrepreneur fair. Thank you.
Congrats.
And the whole idea behind this fair is entrepreneurs serving entrepreneurs. And so we're looking at bringing in different vendors. We still have vendor tables open.
Mhm.
Vendors who have a service that an entrepreneur would need. Marketing, organization, legal, accounting, I don't know, software,
Mhm.
finance, and
A
then
little bit of everything.
yeah, business. So yeah, it's all really an important offering. If you come, we'll serve you dinner. It's really an open house type deal. There's speakers set up for 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock on different subject matters, and boy, there'll be 45 vendors to talk to, all about services that you actually could benefit from in your own small business. It's set up to be something that a brand new vendor can access and benefit from, as well as a really seasoned business.
Mhm.
So there's a whole variety pack of the offerings that'll be there. And one of the other things that we're doing is supporting the Glass Ceiling Foundation, which is a nonprofit in Eagan that is also set up to help small business entrepreneurs. So it's kind of around help the community.
All around support, which is so amazing because many individuals probably don't even know who that organization is, that nonprofit organization, Egan, nonprofit ceilings organization. And many are just hearing about your entrepreneur fair, even though it's been around for 5 years,
Yeah.
right? And it's a great, for me, I feel like it has a little bit of professional development for the new and seasoned entrepreneurs, right? Businesses,
Yep.
as well as to feeding people. Come on, feeding people. Can't go wrong with feeding
No.
anyone. And is there a networking aspect to it?
Oh, yes. It'll be a room full of networking, and it's a great opportunity to network. It does seem to get a little loud, but it's a great place to actually have eye to eyeball contact with people and have conversations. What's really important about what I'm doing is none of the vendors are sitting down. Everyone is standing at a round top table so that conversations can be fluid and gentle and natural. And it's not looking up and down at people. Kind of changes the dynamic of a conversation and a
Exactly.
relationship. This is actually trying to build a relationship with you from the get-go. So it's a really cool place.
And when will this happen? And how soon can we get an opportunity to join?
The fair is going to happen on April 2nd. It's held at the Eagan Community Center. The hours are between 8 o'clock or 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock p.m., excuse me. And the website will go live tonight. So I
Woo!
think that we'll be able to service everyone at that point in time. There will be tickets available at the door as well, but I'm really hoping for ticket sales to go through the website.
Now, once you have that up and running, make sure you share that information with us so we can post it in our social media pages, because we want to make sure that you get as many people there as
Great.
possible.
Thank
Egan is a very centralized location. Even if you're in greater Minneapolis or even North Minneapolis, Egan is still right, south of the cities, but it's still a great location. So we want to make sure that all those entrepreneurs. So I know that is something wonderful that you're doing. And there's so many wonderful things that you got going on as a coach, as a CFO. And I wanted to ask you a little bit, what is a fractional CFO?
Ooh, good question. A fractional CFO is a CFO who works for a couple of different companies. We, in general, have some type of a contract with a larger organization for, say, 10 hours a month or 20 hours a month. And we're bringing the very best of what we have to that organization. They don't pay for any benefits. They pay us a good wage, but they don't pay for any taxes or anything like that. We're responsible. We're 1099s. So they get this enormous benefit from having people like us, and we get the benefit of scheduling our own time, which is really great because I can work from anywhere. And it's really nice to be able to have set hours and set responsibilities for these different organizations. I actually work for two fractionals. I work as a fractional for two organizations right now. And in addition, I do some volunteer work for a couple of organizations fractionally as well. So
that is awesome. That is amazing. I want people to know, hey, if you think you can't afford a CFO, then you're not looking at Carrrie. Okay.
right.
because a lot of times, you have especially nonprofit organizations that they'll lose their CFO or something in there, worried about how they're going to get someone in. And this is a great opportunity for some to just hire fractional CFOs to do that work, just like you mentioned, a few hours a month to do those specific leadership duties to help the organization not lose anything in that interim, which is really nice. I learned that when I met you, and I was like, I really want to learn what that is. I mean, I've never have heard of it before, and that is amazing that you are a fractional CFO and a financial coach, and holistically, with the holistic approach. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's really important to treat people as people. And we all make mistakes, and we all have our passions and pockets of our business that we just don't know about. And finance, quite frankly, is on one of the top. The women that I work with, and mostly I work with women, don't care about numbers. They just don't care. And I don't blame them. Numbers are not, they're not, you have to be a special person to appreciate numbers.
Yes.
There are other passions that we all have. And those people who I'm helping should be focused on their passions. Leave these things that confuse them or upset them to someone else who can handle them. I take the approach of, I'm going to try my very best to get you more educated than you were when I started. I think it's really an important thing that we open up that door and say, help me understand my numbers. Because once you understand your numbers, you understand your business completely differently. And there's a joy in that. There's a whole different type of respect for yourself in that. Very empowering.
I think that is amazing, because that is true. Many women entrepreneurs, it's not about the numbers at all. And they have a passion for their business. And some of them, I'll say, okay, what is it that you're missing out? And that's where when we were talking earlier, shoebox accounting comes into place. We have to laugh about it, but it's true, is because they're like, they didn't know. And then there is some women that just don't know about us, right? About what you have to offer, what I have to offer, or they don't know about the other resources in the community out there, that our wonderful state of Minnesota has to offer, for women entrepreneurs, and I feel like that is one of those key factors, is not only are we wanting to educate them, whether they like the numbers or not, right? We want to educate them. Because I know many of them don't want to really learn about it, but they want to spend the money, but they don't want to learn about it. But it's a guidance in both strategy and a mindset, right? It helps them reach a goal that is a strong financial foundation. And once they understand, it's not for them. And many of them will say, hey, I'm just letting you handle it. You just come back to me, explain it to me, and as holistically as you can, and then we'll go from there. Because it's about building their confidence and in managing their finances and managing their business, and fostering a growth that's both professional and personal for
Yeah.
them in their decisions, right? Because we want them to make the right decisions with their financial and accounting perspectives, right?
Yes.
So this was so amazing, Carrie. Again, so happy and thank you so much for being here. We were so excited to have you. If you have not checked out Carrie, I have put her information in the comments here on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and make sure you turn on those notifications so you can continue to get all our wonderful guest speakers every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time here on our YouTube channel at Valentin Consulting LLC Guest Speakers Series. And we are so excited to continue to have so many growth here. And thank you so much. Again, thank you, Carrie, for being here. And don't forget, she has that Entrepreneur Fair coming up. And please reach out if you need more information regarding that. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Daisy.